I start from a little different position than I normally do because the sun is going right into my eye over there, or straight into the camera. As you can see, there's some giant piles of debris, so we haven't gotten through that as we hoped. We'll talk about that in a minute. Gladiolus bulbs are still in there. Debating whether just to leave them in there and put them in the greenhouse for the winter, or to actually dig them up and put them in sawdust or something like that. These are French lilacs that I probably need to get in the ground like yesterday, but I haven't. So we are getting some of our first pretty cold temperatures here coming up, which means I have to dump out the sweet potato, which might have a sweet potato if I'm lucky, and then pepper plant still going, which is how we know we haven't had any below freezing temperatures for any length of time. Sorry about that. And then the greenhouse, all the citrus is in here. You see, we're finishing up some things. I do need to water these guys again because I've been leaving it closed. Like this one, this poor tree, she's just so fragile. She goes off. I mean, part of it is that I think it got knocked over during the storm and knocked out of its pot. And so made some root disturbance, but then the pot dries out faster. This one, and I think too, because like if the fruit's getting burned from being in here, like it just focuses the sun so much more. It's just, just a weird thing. But yeah, so a little more maintenance with the citrus than normal. But hopefully it's about to be done, and then I might have to take him inside at some point. But I'll leave him out here as long as I can. Asparagus bed, looking good. Oh, it looks like I got a little pine berry there. Come back for that in a minute. A little strawberry hill here, looking fine. It did have some flowers in there. I haven't noticed any berries. You know, the critters usually get to them first anyway, if it's just a handful. The pawpaw, but I'm not sure if it's alive. You're mostly seeing the bamboo that supports it. And the link here, service berry. I think she's doing okay. Looks like we've got some growth happening at the ends there. If I can get it to focus. Nope. Okay, never mind. Trust me, it's there. Dahlia, the last one. It's too bad I couldn't have caught that. It was really pretty. Thought about cutting them, but and then there's this one on the other side. Pink one. And hopefully they make it through till next year. Blackberries, I just need to reattach the chicken wire to the fence that supports it. Probably gonna have to cut those down soon though. I did notice some bulges in the stems. This is not focusing with the flip. But that can mean cane borers. And if you don't cut that off, it can kill the whole plant. Whereas if you cut it down to the ground, it'll come back next year. But you just don't want to leave anything for the cane borers to live in, so no canes. Alright, and blueberry. Sage looking very healthy. In the front yard video, I mentioned that it's basically been drought conditions. It's eggplant that is not going to get to eggplant. I'm sorry, I should have cut you down. So that's what cauliflower looks like when you don't cut it down when it's ready. And it's still edible, and I probably could just go ahead and grab that tonight, but and I might. Okay, this is like not focusing. Tulsi is another eggplant. Tulsi's still going. Bean plant that fell over. blueberry. The kale, of course, is the happiest thing in the garden. Purple kale. Ton of my oregano. Pink rose. Hey, dude. Okay, autofocus is just not doing its thing this morning. I have some mustard that grew up in the pathway from a mustard plant I had this spring. I'm just letting them be for the moment, letting everything be. Crocus came up already. And this is saffron crocus. To the best of my knowledge anyway, and I haven't gotten very many saffron strands from them. I've gotten a few, but could be to conditions. This one's zinnia, just like a lot of things. The plant looks kind of terrible and it's all unwieldy. The flowers are gorgeous, but no. Brussels sprouts, and I did top these recently, so I guess we're getting there. They're far from uniform in how they're forming, but it could just be that it's been in the ground for so long because my Brussels sprout game is not strong. And zinnia still going. These are Chinese noodle beans, red noodle beans. And they were producing, but since the teepee got broken by the volunteers and the plant got shrunk, it hasn't made any more beans. It's still trying. She's putting out a flower. Putting out flowers. But guys, you got like not even a week, so rhubarb back here. That is my black jewel raspberry with that sort of pinkish tone to the stem, which is, pretty plant. And then behind it is hardy kiwi, which she's done a lot of growing. This one. More chickenware I need to put back up. It's like this is just showing me more things I need to do, and how this has just been so backburnered because we're still having to haul water back and forth and do laundry and take showers outside of our house. And that takes up a lot of time. Which, like, not to say all of that would have been done like right now and if our water was on, but I don't feel as bad about it. Just hanging out and waiting for us. So pepper plants are still going, and these are poblanos. I did just take poblano, fairly sizable one off the other day. I don't think I have any babies on there now. Because I didn't think we were going to have a chance to finish. Cucumber, that was the last cucumber that it made, and the bugs got it. So shishito still going. This little guy just keeps cranking them out. I did just pick a whole mess of them the other day. And I was noticing that my borage, I've got some, like this is a, fairly standard color here. Focus on me. And then, I keep getting these pink blooms on some of them. So that's kind of fun. So it's like you have one purple and one pink right next to each other. So that's kind of neat. And then I also have one that is white. And the funny thing is that I had looked for white borage because I'd seen it in Baker Creek, and I don't believe, unless I just completely forgot a whole chapter of my life, which is possible, that I did not get any white borage seeds, but I went looking for them locally and actually had a lady in a shop essentially laugh at me. She was like, yeah, they don't make white ones. And I'm like, they do. Anyway, turns out I had some this year that just, I think I had some mixed in with my other ones. Or that's like natural variation as they grow and they reseed. So that's fun. Or in the alternative, I did get white borage seeds and I forgot about them, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. Lobelia put in. These are freesia bulbs I put in the spring. So I don't know how long they're gonna make it. I don't know if they're gonna get to flower because I'm pretty sure they're frost tender. But this weather's got everything confused. I didn't notice any when I was walking up front, but I did see some things that I thought were maybe irises that were trying to come up the other day. So, you know, I'm sure once we get the freeze, it's going to reset everything. But, these are the things that I've planted. Celery's all looking fine. Definitely looking better in the ground than it did in the pots. That was kind of a nightmare. Carrots all down there. I did put out the few little cabbages and things that I have, but none of that looks really good, and discovered that we have a groundhog friend. Dug a hole, I'll work over it. It's not gonna help, but it might slow it down a little bit. It's been making in and nipping everything off. So whatever I plan to put in the ground between the drought and the aphids and now the groundhog, like, I'll be surprised if any of it makes it through. But yeah, these little guys and bugs, which is what happens when you're not able to water and feed things. They get sickly and then the bugs get them. But you know, I got other fish to fry. And then brush piles, logs we're gonna do something with. This one is my pink lady apple. She did get topped by a fallen tree. She seemed to be doing okay, putting out any leaves though, which I wish she wasn't doing. That is my Honey Crisp right there with the blue tape on it. That was me trying to salvage it after it also got a tree on it. These are blackberries, thornless blackberries, which has some new canes growing, but the leaves dying back. The weather in this year has just been so weird. Pawpaws losing its leaves, and gotta be careful where I'm walking here. Leaf litter's hiding everything. Elderberry, which is doing fine, kind of sprawly. I need to probably tie it back a little bit so it's not hanging out so much. And then the last of the raspberry canes that I haven't cut down. I did cut down the rest of them, partly because we needed to have the space to work on the gate. Blueberries, looking pretty good. These are leaves that when we were dealing with the mulch pile, and this is the gate, and we need to figure out some kind of permanent situation because we had to pull up locust beam that was the end of the bed and dig down quite a bit because we have both a slope and these beds were built up once the fence was put in to make them into beds. So I gotta figure out how to fix that permanently so it doesn't just fill back in and we can't open the gate. We'll figure that out at some point, but that's where we are right now. And then come back over here and have one last shot of the wide garden. that's a lot of it's still hanging on, trying its best to be something.